All right, we're going to do some tape reading here. Went short at a fair value gap. And I think the high at 39.38 is going to stay intact. That's just a little bit of a Judas swing and an ugly morning. That's Bailey walking across the hardwood floor, sorry. All right, so I'm going to try to go short another position in here and inside that fair value gap right there. Expecting 39.13 and a quarter to be blown out. All right, take a partial here, just a little bit lower. I'll take another partial. There you go. Now I could pull back up into that range, but that double bottom to the left, that's what everybody wants to see it trade back up into. Retail resistance, it ain't going to work like that. I'm going to sell it at a short-term premium inside that sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. So once it pumps up a little bit in there, I'll go short some more. Right in here as it pumps up above. This will be a institutional order flow entry drill for my mentorship students. Boom, right in there. That's a good place to take a short. And there you go. Now let's pull the rug out from underneath this bad boy. Send it packing below 39.13 and a quarter. I was all over this. Like white on rice. Don't be afraid of this. This is a little bit of static price action. One more time. Institutional order flow entry drill. And sell program will begin. Sending it lower. Attacking the sell side liquidity. Resting below 39.13 and a quarter. I have 5 contracts on. Let's take those puppies off as it breaches the lows. And if you take that 39.13 and a quarter level, draw it out on time, you'll see on an hourly chart, it's rather obvious. That's an old low. So the algorithm will want to seek to trade down there and allow and facilitate liquidity to come into the marketplace. Not because of selling pressure, because the selling actually occurs underneath that low. And booyah. All right, folks, this is the afternoon trade for the S&P, and it is a shift in market structure at 2 o'clock, and then a return back down into the buy side and balance, sell side inefficiency that is highlighted in blue. It's also an optimal trade entry and a run for potentially 39.50 is what I'm looking for, but there's going to be a partial here. Should be filling any moment. There we are. Okay, and just going to see if we can get some follow through going into 39.50 level. We'll give this recording a little bit of time. We'll come back to this. All right, so there's that buy side balance, sell side inefficiency. You can see my entry, and I took another partial off. Okay, and we're going to wait and see if we can get a run above that 39.50 level. I have 2 on still. We'll see if we can get a nice little pop in here above that 39.50 level. Getting to listen to all the ambiance of my kitchen. I should pop in here. And come on, there you go. it certainly looks like it wants to draw down into this order block a little bit more. But if we start to accelerate, I don't think these lows are going to be a factor. Maybe in short order approaching these lows back here. Doesn't look good. It's not doesn't bode well for the bulls, at least from the moment. Let's take a look at the hourly. Okay, you can see how price broke lower, fair value gap, worked in that, touched the higher portion here, and sold off. Small little fair value gap there, broke lower for another run into the low. 15-minute time frame. I know it's sloppy, but I promise it'll get clear in a second. Fair value gap here, breaks lower. Afternoon session, 3 o'clock hour, sells off, attacking a low. 5-minute chart. Here's your fair value gap here. It trades up into, returns back into it here and here. And I'm going to show you my 1-minute entry. Selling 5, buying 5, execution labels. You can see it here. So that small little fair value gap right there, that's how I was eyeballing that inside of a larger fair value gap after that one. Held it during dead time, attacking the sell side liquidity. And I missed the opportunity here, so I just closed it there. That's going to be it. Hopefully you found this insightful. Until next time, be safe.
Some days you get the feeling of hitting the concrete, getting straight out of your lap. What about your lap? You're getting nervous cause the purpose is hidden, you can't see, and the world's gonna pass you by and watch you die. Hell, I know it's all too easy getting caught in the dark when you're looking for the fix to fill the hole in your heart. All alone is kinda life, it ain't a walk in the park, and I know it's gonna take some time, so I say, when the sun goes down, call my name. When all the world around you's just too hard to take. If it helps you live, I got something for the pain. Yeah, I got something for the pain. It's funny how the devil's always playing his part, but you can't keep looking back. I'm in so deep, I'm thinking, why did I start? And when you fall, it happens all too fast. Hey, hey. If they make you try to give up some names, but you don't wanna mess around. Freedom days, don't let them beat you out of breaking your back. Girl, ain't nobody gonna help you now. So I say, when the sun goes down, call my name. Yeah, when all the world around you's just too hard to take. If it helps you live, I got something for the pain. Yeah, I got something. Oh, when you feel weighed down, you find the weight is falling. Oh, you can feel me now, your highest, all that's calling. Can we all escape? Help me find a way.
Alright, CPI numbers about to release. Sitting here with my son watching. I think we're going to hit the order block, trade up there and then break down. Hit the order block and break down. That's initial. Obviously you can go way lower than that. It's about a minute away. Usually when these market moves take place, you are not permitted to enter. All brokers basically go to like standby. You're not going to get a fill. And if you have a stop loss, yeah, good luck with that. So already it looks like it's trying to promote the idea of a high being formed, but that order block level, that's upper left hand corner daily chart, the opening price on that, that's what that red line is at 41.66. Here comes the fireworks. Okay. Boom. Oh, there you go. That right there alone right there would have roasted everyone. And now your margin called. Thanks for playing. Good morning, folks. A couple more minutes, we'll have the PPI number in the US. Just want to give you a quick little point to study on. Here is the opening price. Okay, and there's a small little pool of liquidity right in there. Small inefficiency. You might want to pop up and hit that, and then maybe run for sell side below here. Put the lipstick on this. It's not a trade recommendation, it's just for you to study. I'm not engaging it. I prefer to wait this afternoon to see what develops. Okay, so opening price rallied last night, London session. See if we can get above this area in here. Let's just note it. We'll highlight it as that right there. Studying to see if we get a reaction there that leads to this later on. Alright, so we're going to be doing an afternoon session live trade. This is through an AMP live account, so it's not demo, it's not paper trading. It's a draw on liquidity I'm using. And the afternoon so far is a little sloppy, but we came up, took out the buy side above 39.55, came down, shifted market structure below 39.47.5. Fair value gap, I executed it with the short entry right at the low of the fair value gap. I'm going to look to take 6 contracts off. Bank about $1,500. Stops rolled to better than even. I don't want to play around this afternoon. It's a little sloppy. And see, I don't like that. I don't like how it did that. I want it to take out that low formed just after 2 o'clock. I suspect 39.36.50 is going to give out the ghost, but I missed my ideal entry at 39.55.5. Expand this up a little bit and draw this out so you can see the logic. Well, yeah, there you go. I'm wanting to take off 1 contract below that sell side liquidity and let 1 remain for the 39.36.5 run out, but it's really sloppy, so I took 1 of them off because I don't like where I'm sitting and I don't want to adjust the stop. And the stop's about to get taken. There you go. So not bad for adding another 2,000 almost on the day. There's the shift in market structure. Hope you found it insightful.
If I can't let you go, will darkness divide? For the fiction of love is the truth of our lives. We were playing for keeps, but we both knew the cost.
So the question is, how do I get this on the chart? And Bailey's crawling on my lap, trying to push the laptop away. No, it's my time. It's not Twitter time. It's Bailey time. Alright, so let's go over to the charts real quick. I'll show you. Grab a short trend line, and you want to start where you're going to annotate like the beginning of your trading time window, like kill zones or something to that effect. So 130, which is 1330 on trading view using UTC -4. Hold down shift and drag it over to, on Friday, I'm using the very close of the day. Right there. Okay, and then go in and label. Okay, and then whatever size you want to use. And then while it's highlighted, hold down Control, click on it and drag. It'll create a duplicate. And you're going to change this to top. And then the first and you space it out, set it to a different, I like that. And what I'm doing is I'm just putting spaces until it puts a little bit of distance between the middle of the top one, and then I'll start typing in. And I go back to the one up here, right next to it, and then keep hitting space until it gets real close to the ends of the top of the line. And then it's just a matter of taking it and dropping it back down. There you go. Alright, so what do you do if you have a target, for instance, a volume imbalance, and it has already traded up into it? And we're going to say this is the NASDAQ, the little orange area up in the top. It had already traded there, so you can see that there was a imbalance as a discount, and now I'm showing you the premium. So the market dropped down into the order block on the 15-minute time frame in a discount, and then traded back up into a premium, and does not need to take out the high of the day. So this is trading inside the range ahead of a rate announcement on Wednesday, so you have to be nimble. You'll hear probably my dishwasher in the back. I'm sitting at the kitchen table. Well, counter, I guess you would call it, a table. Got good news today, by the way. The judge has granted expedited processing on the list pendants falsely attributed to the property I'm under contract for. So that scammer has until the 26th of September to respond and prove that he has a case. Otherwise, my purchase goes forward. I guess I'll do a MTV Cribs edition once everything is settled. Show you the new shack ICT is living in. And got one more little partial in here, not ready to be peeled off. Type this out here for you. Final partial about to fill. Okay, and let's get ready for a celebratory booyah. There it is. Alright, we're going to do a live trade here this morning. Draw on liquidity was down there. I'll show you in a second right there on the 15-minute time frame. Fair value gap in the form of buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. And we're looking for lower prices. I'm going to get in a little early this morning. I have things I have to take care of. I'm not going to be able to manage the entire thing. So I have a shift in market structure there. And I'm stuck in a fair value gap right there. And yes, that's Bailey. So the work has already been done with the run on stops at 8.15. And we're just returning back to a short-term premium. Now I'm going to miss the actual ideal entry right there. I missed that because I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at Bella and Bailey laying next to me. So I'm in, and I tried to show the executions, but it's not showing. But don't worry, I will show it to you in the whole documentation of it all. But I'm managing it right now blind. At the moment, I don't have a stop. I don't have a limit order in. So I'm literally watching it live. This is not what you should be doing ever when you're trading, but this is the second time that AMP and TradingView didn't meet together technically, and the position tab line that usually shows up when you're in a trade wasn't there. So I can't like grab the take profit and the limit order to adjust it like you normally see me do. So I'm waiting for price to drop down below the sell side liquidity. I want to be out of the trade now because I don't have the optics to see what it is I would normally want to be monitoring with limits and managing my stop. So I'm just going to close it here, even though I've pointed to lower prices. And there you go. And here is the actual result with the live account. Okay, so $1,350. Just a bread and butter setup. Nothing exciting. Alright, so here is the aftermath. Okay, so obviously I had a technical issue with TradingView and AMP not syncing together. So the open position tab that would allow me to do the adjustments for take profit, limit orders, and stop loss wasn't available to me. So because of that, it broke my concentration. I just used the low here to bail out of it. Ultimately, you can see the analysis was pretty much spot on. We're probably going to trade down here to the lower end of this. Let's draw that out here for completeness sake. Drew this projection here for a target. I would have been aiming for 38.70, just below that low. I would have not held it for this move here. Let's go into the 1 minute chart. All right, and here's all the lipstick as it was forming. Shift in market structure, you saw me do that live, real time. Fair value gap, small little gap in here. Return back to the larger gap, bump that high, and right below this here is where I covered, and I'll show you the business. Okay, you can see there's my entry, 6 contracts. The exit, I just failed to get below the low of this candle here. So 38.85 and a quarter. I was off by a quarter point, so I couldn't even match that because I was trying just to bail on the trade. And ultimately it went where I wanted to go to, but it's okay. Once my focus is broken in a trade, it's better for me just to collapse it and worry about taking the next trade with precision. But I think this is good enough for today, and it's a good learning experience for you as well. Real quick review. Fair value gap. The market rallies up into that in FOMC. Put your shaded rectangle on your chart, extend that out in time. Look at your lower time frames. You'll see the bodies of the candles. We'll look at this in a minute, but I won't have that on the chart. I want to do everything naked. You like it? Naked. So if we look at it on a 15-minute time frame, relative equal highs, that's buy side liquidity. Initial drop down, that's the initial fake move. Then the Judas swing, we're on buy side. Bearish bias, there's no reason for us to expect higher prices when they're raising interest rates. Market breaks lower, liquidity, and extra, obviously, into the later part of the day. Go right into the 1 minute chart. And let's scrub back here. Okay, buy side here, rallies, fair value gap. I'm waiting until 3 o'clock hour. Last hour of the day, the algorithm will start presenting more opportunities. All of this here is time distortion. Breaks lower, shift in market structure, rallies up, fair value gap, entry, fair value gap, return up into it. So I waited for this, potentially trading up into this, and then I entered. And you can see the executions. Here we are. And market maker sell model, liquidity, selling 8, pyramiding inside the fair value gap here, right there on that entry, half the initial position, partials below an old low, partials below a new low, and then below the lows here, and finally just to close the trade because I had other things to take care of today. So not bad for a 25K move on S&P. What's your mentor do today? Alright, so I'm going to sell short here. Stop above the volume imbalance. And I'll note that in a second. The draw on liquidity is noted at 37.69 3/4. Market structure shift on that swing low there. And there's a bearish order block that I'm going to trade off of as an additional pyramid entry. First partial will be underneath that low noted. Here's my bearish order block, and I'll sell short in there. Boom. Watch the reaction after my entry. Then I'll cover 3 contracts of the 9 I hold below that low. Stop loss is now removed risk. Okay, another partial below that short-term low. Now the draw on liquidity is the focus, and there's a volume imbalance. Watch this precision right there. See that? You don't see that in your textbooks. And watch it just melt away from that. I'm running with a very, very low battery. Just plugged it in, just that way I can get the recording captured. Partial was taken again as we ran under new lows. And the limit order is about to get smoked. Boom. Here's my entries. Clean all this up. So there's that fill on the fair value gap. Bearish ICT order block. First partial below sell side liquidity. Second partial below another sell side liquidity pool. Another partial chasing and running down equity, and the final limit order. All right, so here is what AMP futures does to you. I was dealing with this all night long, multiple trades, and I could have had a huge net day. I was net on the day, but not as high as I would have been if they would have allowed the orders to execute. So as you'll see, there's several attempts for me to close this trade. I built up a position of 10 contracts short, and AMP suggested that I was trying to do more contracts than their limit would allow me, but I've traded more than 10 contracts already, so that's bullshit. So as you'll see, this is not a market replay in NinjaTrader. Okay, this is real money, and the broker will not let me out of the trade. So every time I tried to move the stop loss or take a partial, the stop loss and limit order would disappear. And anytime I would adjust it, it would do that. Not just on this trade, but trades all night long. So you can see the orders are being rejected. I cannot close the trade. It will not let me do it. No matter what I do, it will not do it. It's a pretty simple process. You go up there and you close the position or buy 8, as you'll see me try to do as it gets close to the low. Every time it keeps rejecting, will not accept the process of closing the trade out. Now, again, last night I traded probably 8 or 9 times throughout the day and had some really good runs, but when it comes back on you, because you can't get out of the trade, not because I don't know how to trade, obviously. Right here I'm trying to get out. Nope, won't let me do it. So, the stop loss, that's what they allow me to get out at. That I can't adjust. I can't lower the stop. So basically this broker is bullshit. It's trash. And if you were thinking about opening up with them, this is the kind of shit you're going to deal with if you're trying to catch big moves. All right, so let's take a look at a variation on my son's model. When there isn't a fair value gap, we can use order blocks. You can see the one that's anchored where it's noted bullish order block. I'm drawing out the 2 subsequent order blocks after that. I'm buying with the premise that it's going to reach up into that fair value gap up here. So we'll go in with the live account, 8 contracts, stop loss within the parameters of the model. Best case scenario, exit. I'm going to look to take 6 contracts off above the 37.25 level I mentioned on Twitter. Very clean level. So don't think that you have to have a fair value gap all the time to take a trade. I have lots of different models and lots of different approaches. Okay, I'll close 6 right there. Stop to better than even on the balance of 2 contracts. And I don't like the lethargic price action here. I was wanting to see it run up into that fair value gap, at least hit the low end of it. So I took one of them off again, partial, leaving one with a stop that will not move. It'll stay where it's at. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking if it takes my stop loss here, that this is probably going to be the morning session high, and we'll start working towards that 36.95 sell side liquidity pool. But I'll leave the stop that you guys can see everything. And I know some of you are wondering, is this really paper trading again? He's on a paper trade right now. But this is a bread and butter setup without the need of a fair value gap. Okay, it's order flow is what I'm looking at. Not what you see these other guys on YouTube saying. That's it. Amp live. And there comes the stop loss being hit. And almost did it. There you go.
Contemplating, isolating, and it's stressing me out. Different visions, contradictions. Why won't you let me out? I need a way to separate, but I promise you that I'll make sure you never forget me. Now that you want it, now that you need it, I'm too far gone. You're trying to play there, but I'm not breaking. I'm telling you I'm bulletproof. Believe me, I'm bulletproof. You made me so bulletproof, and now I'm too far gone. You're addicted and so twisted that it's freaking me out. Distant eyes, it's no surprise you can't do anything now. I need a way to separate, but I'm telling you that nothing will ever be the same. Now that you want it, now that you need it, I'm too far gone. You're trying to play there, but I'm not breaking. I'm telling you I'm bulletproof. Believe me, I'm bulletproof. You made me so bulletproof. Mount up.
It was a clear black night, a clear white moon. Warren G was on the streets trying to consume some skirts for the E, so I could get some phones. Rolling in my ride, chilling all alone.
Just hit the east side of the LBC on a mission trying to find Mr. Warren G. Seen a car full of girls, ain't no need to tweak. All of you search know what's up with 213.
So I hooked Select on 21 and Lewis, some brothers shooting dice. So I said, let's do this. I jumped out the ride and said, what's up? Some brothers put some, so I said, I'm stuck.
These girls peeping me, I'm gonna glide and swerve. These looking so hard, they straight hit the curve. Want to bigger, better things than some horny tricks. I see my homie and some suckers all in his mix.
I'm getting jacked, I'm breaking myself. I can't believe they taking Warren's wealth. They took my rings, they took my Rolex. I looked at the brother, said, damn, what's next?
They got my homie hemmed up and they all around. Can't none of them see him if they going straight pound for pound. They wanna come up real quick before they start to clown. I best pull out my and lay them busters down.
They got guns to my head, I think I'm going down. I can't believe it's happening in my own town. If I had wings, I would fly, let me contemplate. I glance in the cut and I see my homie Nate.
16 in the and 1 in the hole. Nate Dogg is about to make somebody's turn. Now they dropping and yelling, it's a tad bit late. Nate Dogg and Warren G had to regulate. I let my explode. Now I'm switching my mind back into freak mode. If you won't skirt, sit back and observe. I just left a gang of over there on the curb.
Now they got the freaks and that's a known fact. Before I got jacked, I was on the same track. Back up, cause it's on N-A-T-E and me, the woman to the G.
Just like I thought, they were in the same spot, in need of some desperate help. But Nate Dogg and the G-Child were in need of something else. One of them dames was sexy as hell. I said, ooh, I like your side.
Alright, so you can see the E-mini S&P. New start of a new day here. Right there. Ran up into this imbalance between this low and this high. That's a civvy. Trades up into it, bumps the buy side liquidity here. We'll take a look at that on a 5-minute. Hits it here. Buy side, higher time frame order flow, bearish, rebalance in here, shift in market structure, rallies up, below the low, fair value gap, no fair value gap up in here. Shift in market structure. Right in here. Overshoots it a little bit, that's fine. Below the low here. And you can see your demo accounts don't put your profit and loss down here.
In this city is the same to me. Everyone's got a place to be, but there's no room for me. Am I to blame when the guilt and the shame hang over me? Like a dark cloud that chases you down in the pouring rain. It's so hard to find someone who cares about you, but it's easy enough to find someone who looks down on you. Why is it so hard to find someone who cares about you when it's easy enough to find someone who looks down on you? that you won't. There's nothing like a trail of blood to find your way back home. I was waiting for my hearse. What came next was so much worse. It took a funeral to make me feel alive. Just open your eyes. Just open your eyes and see that life is beautiful. Will you swear on your life that no one will cry at my
This is what inversion is like. I spend about 5 minutes upside down like this a few times a day. And as you can see, no hair plugs. All right, let's do some lunchtime trading. All right, going short here, knowing that I'm going to most likely get stopped out. There's a fair value gap that I think we're going to do a 3 drives pattern in. There you go. Took a loss right there. And there is the third time back in the fair value gap. I went short there again. I'm going to pyramid this if it gives me all the things I'm looking for. I'm trusting the fair value gap because we had multiple times going in there. If it would have stopped me out again, I would be done for the day. But I wouldn't be doing this aggressively in the lunchtime hour. I'm just showing you that I have no problem showing you a losing trade and recouping it. So adjusting the stop, I have noted a short-term sell-side liquidity pool right here. That's where the first partial is going to be. Now I'm going to add a additional short in here. Okay, so I just pyramided. Now I have 13 contracts. Fair value gap right in here. I'll annotate that, let you see what I'm looking at. So the price should gravitate back down to that low where I have first partial taken, or not taken, but will be taken. Adjusting the stop, reducing the risk. Partial taken. Stop is now better than entry. And I'll be looking to take a partial and opened up the profit objective a little bit more. Looking to take 3 contracts after this fair value gap, repricing lower, low sell side liquidity. There's a partial there. Stop has been brought down to the fair value gap. It should not go back up into that area. If it does, it's not good. It's a bearish order block. Another partial. Now I just have 1, looking for it to trade down into that limit order or stop me out underneath the sell side liquidity pool. I'm watching to see if it can reject that and snap down and get my limit order. One more trade here. I'm going to take some partials. Not bad, 77%. All right, so I took 5 contracts off, and you can see where we're at here. rolled the stop up to 36.58 and a half, and my concern is we moved one more time above that 36.57 level, which is the old daily low I've been drawing your attention to, since I don't even know when. It's been over a week or so. But I've been mentioning yesterday and today how the market's just sweeping back and forth above and below that level. So my concern is we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 times creating a swing high above that just in this fractal alone in the chart. So the likelihood is, if it comes back down and knocks out the stop, I'm okay with that, because that means it could potentially just fail to get to that high that I had my limit order in, which is a 60-minute high, plus a little bit because I opened up the limit order just a little bit more because my OCD wants to have that 10,000, not the 9,000 something that it would have been otherwise. So the struggle is real. All right, so we trade up into a small little fair value gap in the last couple minutes here, and I did not want to see it come off of that. So if we can run to a new high that's obviously relative to the fractal or price action that's been shown in this chart here, if it can run to a higher high, then I'll put the stop loss rate to 36.6250. But if we break down in here, it's probably going to be in jeopardy, and the stop loss will probably be tagged. I just don't want to take any partials off here. I want to keep that full pull at 10,000 on the remaining 6. Just needs to snap higher here or it's no good. Too many times pumping above 36.57. 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and just struggling to get above that hourly high. Now, if it fails and goes back below 36.57 again, that might be something, suggesting lower prices into Friday, which might be beneficial. But we'll have to see how we trade overnight. Small little fair value gap. You can see we're traded into it here now. Let me see if I can scribble on this. Right there, that fair value gap. Below that low. So, if it can, we'd like to see it snap up from there and go. All right, so we're probably going to get stopped out here. Let's just see where we're at. Okay, and just too many times moving above that 36.57 level I've been drawing your attention to. 1, 2, 3, 4 times reaching up and just failing to get above the hourly high around that 36.72 level or so. And I was trying to capture some buy side to get to that 10,000 round number on the remaining 6 contracts, but it looks like we might just come down and hit the stop loss. Now, if it comes down below that 36.57, that might open up some more downside going into Friday. We've just been working at old daily low, 36.57, and it's real hard to keep finding strength to keep doing this type of stuff when you have such a key level at that 36.57. You like all that? All that drawing? That's quant technical analysis, by the way. Sorry. So I opened up the last bit of the position, and we're at 135%, 4 days. And with 2 contracts remaining, small little fair value gap right there. So we'll see if it gets a little bit of a lift there, run to a new high. I think I've done enough for a clinic. See here, it looks 50-50. I'd like to see it run to a new high. If it does, I'll take one of them off. Leave the stop where it is and leave the limit where it is. So either stops me out or I take one off at a new high and leave the pending orders as they are. Oh, almost got me there. There it is. So the business is 136.5%, 4 days. Not bad for a newbie.
Renegade on the run. Real life wire and a crossfire riding shotgun. Not talking about a deal with the devil. Let's hear nothing about selling your soul. But call it what you will if you start to feel out of control. Can you hear the sound of the turning wheels? Floating the road like it's never been done. I'm breaking out of this town like a renegade. So baby, get ready to run. Don't have any time left to kill. Don't wanna go down like the setting sun. So let's break out of this town like a renegade. Can't wait another minute. I'm right here ready to run. Don't you wanna feel like a rebel? Renegade on the